Good morning, everyone. So it's Tuesday. As of this week, I've discovered that the way I've been saying whether or not you've done work or whatever is not exactly the way it's meant to be, and certainly not for the future. So just to let you know, because the support staff want to know how they can best support you and get you back, they need to know exactly who's submitting work and who isn't. And I've just been asking you to submit something that I would mark once a week, and I'm going to carry on doing that. But some of you have been uploading work every single day, and I've been giving you a positive as a result. I haven't been giving you feedback on the work you've uploaded, but I've acknowledged that you've done it, and I've been putting that down as submitted on class charts. When I've been doing that, I haven't been marking the rest of you as not submitted. I will be doing that in the future. Even if you've looked on class charts to see what's going on, you need to, for every lesson, upload a bit of work that you've done. Otherwise, you will be registered as not submitted for that. And there may be people asking you questions as to why you haven't done that. So just so that you're aware. Now, I'm not saying that you need to go back for every single lesson and make sure you've submitted stuff. But starting as of the Monday of this week, so last lesson, I will be at some point in the week, possibly tomorrow morning or even before the end of today, starting to indicate those of you who haven't submitted for that day. Now, if you do submit some work, and it's after I've done that, if I don't pick that up and change it to submitted within a day or so, please email me and let me know, and I will do that. And I will then give you your positive for having done the lesson as well, because I think that the more we can encourage things, I want to make it as much about helping you. Every bit of work you do is a positive thing. And so don't worry if you have got a massive backlog of stuff and you're worried about that. Don't worry about that. Make sure you're doing the work that we do as I do it each day, whatever day. And then if you have more time, you can always go back a lesson or so, but it's very easy to become swamped. So just do today's lesson each time, and you'll soon start picking up lots of positives from it, and before you know it, everything will be hunky-dory again. Okay, right, we're going to crack on now with a little bit of a starter, and then we're looking at compound shapes GCSE questions, which will be similar to a lot of the stuff we've been doing up till now, but it's just mashing lots of rectangles and trapeziums and triangles and so on together. Right, now today's starter is a Sudoku. Now I think most of you know how one of these works, but just in case you don't, I'm just going to cover up the one on the right, which is similar, but you also have to have the numbers 1 to 9 in there. Let's just have a look at this one. You've got to fit the numbers from 1 to 9 once in each row going across, and in each column, but also in each 3 by 3 box. So one of the easiest ways to find these numbers is just to look straight down the columns. I've got a 7 in this column. I've got no 7 in this column, and I've got a 7 down here. Now, because there's a 7 in that column, that can't be a 7 and that can't be a 7, and likewise these 3 can't be a 7. And because we already know these numbers, there's only one place a 7 could go. Now, some of the numbers you'll be able to find by quite easy ones like that. Others may take a bit longer. So if you enjoy this sort of puzzle, either take a photo and print it off, or make a copy of it and give it a go. But it may take you a while, so once you've spent more than 5 to 10 minutes on it, move on to the rest of the maths lesson, and then if you want to continue it and see if you can finish it, do so. I will show you my completed version of it next time, and you can compare then and see whether or not you've got it. And if any of you upload your versions to me, I'll be very impressed. So we've got the usual sort of thing going on now. I've put a mathsgenie worksheet up there, and we are going to do about half the questions today and the rest of them tomorrow. And there will be one question tomorrow that I don't go through, but that I ask that you definitely upload that one to me tomorrow. Upload some of your work from today so that I know that you've been working and can reward you in that way. But tomorrow's, I will give you one question to have a go at. Now here's your first problem. So pause the video and work out, you can see it's been split into 2 areas. See if you can work out both the areas separately and then add them together. Right, so hopefully you've had a go at that and unpaused the video now. So you will have, I'm going to call it area A and area B. And A is a rectangle, and a rectangle is length times width, and the length is 7 and the width is 5, so we get 35 centimeters squared for that bit. And then the triangle, the area of a triangle is base times perpendicular height divided by 2, isn't it? So the base is 4 centimeters. The height, well, it's the same as that 5 centimeters there, isn't it? Because it's one end of that rectangle. So 4 times 5 divided by 2, which is 20 divided by 2, which is 10. So the area of the whole shape is going to be area A plus area B. Add those together, 35 plus 10 gives you 45 centimeters squared. Write it on the dotted line, and then you've got your units included. Here's a slightly trickier one, so there's one more mark for this. Begin, if I were you, by splitting it into 2 shapes. Pause the video, give it a go. Right, so you could split it across there and have a trapezium and a rectangle, or you could have gone just for this. I think is going to be the simplest, because that gives us A as our triangle and B as our rectangle. So I'm going to do B first because that's the easiest. Length times width, 9 times 8 is 72. And then if that's 4 centimeters from there to there, and it's 9 centimeters for the whole length, then this must be 5 centimeters, because 5 add 4 is 9. And likewise, if this is 8 from here to here, that bit there is 8, and 8 from 20 is 12. So our area for the triangle is going to be 12 times 5 divided by 2, which is 60 divided by 2, and half of 60 is 30. So then we just do 72 plus 30, which is 102 centimeters squared. Right, next one's a trapezium, and it's there are 2 ways you could work this out. Pause the video and have a go, and I'm going to do both. So the way I suspect you may have done it is by treating your rectangle and triangle separately. So your rectangle would be length times width is 6 times 5, which is 30. And your triangle will be base times height. So the base, 10 takes 6 is 4, the height is 5, divided by 2 gives us 20 divided by 2. We'll do that in one go as being 10. Add those together, gives me 40 centimeters squared. Or if you wanted to do it using the formula for the area of a trapezium, remember that is a half A plus B, different A's and B's to there, times H. So the little a and little b are talking about the 2 parallel sides, which are those ones. So we would do a half of 6 add 10, times it by the perpendicular height, which is that 5 there. And that's going to give us a half of 16 is 8 times 5, and 8 times 5 is also 40 centimeters squared. Right, so question 4. There's a wall with a door in it that wants the shaded area, which is basically the wall, isn't it? There's a couple of ways you could do this. Pause the video and see how you do it. Right, now you could do it by making lots of a few different rectangles that are all shaded, or you could say the big rectangle take the small one, so the whole wall including the door, and then take the door away from it. So the big is going to be 4 times 3, and the small is going to be 2 times 1. 4 times 3 is 12, take 2 times 1 is 2, 12 take 2 gives us 10 square meters. If you've done it a different way that took a bit longer or whatever, then that's absolutely fine as long as you got there. But keeping things as simple as possible is always a good idea. Right, now I know I said that we were going to do half of this worksheet today and half of it tomorrow. Actually, these problems don't seem to be taking as long as I thought they might do. So we're going to do the whole of it today, and I'm going to ask for your feedback thing that you're going to load up, and I will give feedback at the end of today's lesson, if that's okay. Right, we want the total area of this six-sided shape. Pause the video and do what you can. Area A is just a rectangle, so that is the length times the width. 12 times 2 is 24. So you'd get 1 mark if you did that in the exam out of 3. You'd get another mark for working out B. So B is a right-angled triangle. You've got this one here is the base, isn't it? It's sort of been turned on its side, and that one there is the height. So something times 6 over 2. This is all 12. From there to there is 7. So 7 plus 5 makes the 12 of that length. So it's going to be 5 times 6 divided by 2. 5 times 6 is 30, divided by 2 is 15. And the total area is going to be the 24 plus the 15, which equals 39 centimeters squared. And that's what you'd write right down at the bottom there normally. So here's question 6. Pause the video, have a real think about what's going on, and then give it a go. If you haven't had a go because you're not sure what you're doing yet, you're looking for the area of the shaded part. So that could be the whole thing, take away those 3 areas. So you want to work out the area of the whole thing, and then you also want to work out the area of one of these. They're all the same. So 3 of those, take them away from what we've got at the top. So the whole big area, the big rectangle, is 10 times 8, which is 80 centimeters squared. You get 1 mark for that. The area of one of these little ones is 4 times 2 equals 8. So that's 8 and that's 8. 3 eighths are 24. So the smalls equal 3 times 8, which is 24. And then we just need to take 24 away from 80. So 4 away from 0 you can't do. So take 1 from the 8 and pop it in the other one. So 4 from 10 is 6. 2 from 7 is 5. 56 centimeters squared should be a final answer. Here's question 7. Now it says not accurately drawn, but this means that these are right angles, so you can make yourself some shapes. You can make right angled triangles, you can make rectangles, you can make a trapezium if you like, but I recommend one right angled triangle and 1 rectangle. Pause the video and give it a go. So I'm calling that A and that B. So my area A is going to be length times width is 12 times 5, which is 60. And my area B, that height there, well, we've got 9 for the whole thing and you've got 5 for that bit there. So this must be 9 take 5 is 4 centimeters. And going across here, well, you've got 12 for the whole bit, so 12 take 7 is 5 for the base. So the triangle is base times height divided by 2. 5 fours are 20. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Add those together gives you 70 centimeters squared. Right, here's question 8. So on question 8, Similar idea, you've got a big shape, you've got a little one, they want to know the shaded area, so it's taking the small shape away from the big one. Pause the video, make a sketch of it if you haven't got it printed off, and work out your areas. So this at the side here has got a right angle with it, so it's saying that the triangle has a base and a height. They mean the perpendicular height there. So the triangle is going to be 12 is the base times 10 is the height divided by 2, which is the same as, I can actually divide one of these by 2 instead. I could halve the 12 to 6 and say that's going to be the same as 6 times 10, which is 60 centimeters squared. So that's the largest shape. And then we've got to take away the area of the rectangle. Well, 5 times 3 equals 15. So that would be another mark for doing that. And then to get the third and final mark, you need to take the 15 away from the 60, which gives you 45 centimeters squared. And here's your final question. This is the one I would like you to have a go at and see if you can work it all out. I don't want to say too much about it other than that you're going to need to work out the area, and then it's the farmer selling the field for £3 per square metre. So whatever your square meterage, you'll need to be timesing that by 3 at the end. Right, and there's 5 marks for that question. It's the sort of thing that comes up in a GCSE quite a lot, and I think they're really gettable marks. So do the best you can, folks, and upload your solution to me. Now we've got a little bit of time left, so I'm going to go back to the Sudoku and work out a few more of those in what time we've got left. And if you want, you can see how, if you agree with me. Right, so this is really good practice at trying to work out things which don't appear obvious, that we can't see. So for things like algebra skills. Right, so what can I see? I've done a 7 there. There seem to be lots of 7s around. I wonder if there are any more easy 7s I can get. So looking across here, there can't be 7 there or there because of the 7 in that row, or there, and then there's a 7 column down there, so I know that that must be a 7 right there. Then the other thing is, in this box there must be a 7 somewhere. It can't be any of those because of that 7, can't be that one because of that would block. Oh, but we've got 2 there, so the 7 will be either there or there. And if we come to this box, this 7's knocking out those 2, this 7's knocking out that one, that's not, so this could be here or here. So at the moment we don't know which one. And what you mustn't do, what I'd say, is never make a guess and think, oh, will it be that one? Just bear in mind, if you want to, you could put in pencil a tiny little 7 there and there just to remind yourself of what you've seen. But there are other ways to try to find things too. Another one, I don't know if this is going to work right now, but in this line here, because all the numbers 1 to 9 need to appear, I could think about that. Now there's a 9 here, which means that can't be the 9. This could be a 9, and this could be a 9, except if I look across here, there's a 9 in this row, so that can't be a 9. So there's only one place that could possibly be a 9. Now what other 2 numbers have we not got here yet? One, we haven't got 1, and we haven't got 6. So because 1 is already in this box, this one must be the 6, because that can't be a 1, and this up here must be the 1. Now another thing that you might do is spend some time trawling around going, right, okay, what do I know about 6s? I know all the 6s in the bottom 3 rows have been got in the bottom 3 boxes. Then there's no 6s up here. I know 6 is there, so that either one of those could be a 6, but I don't know beyond that. Or I might look and go, oh, I've got another one here where I've only got 3 numbers I don't know. So 1, 2 isn't there. What else? And I might want to make a little note up there that a 2 isn't in this column. A 4 isn't in this column yet, and an 8 isn't in this column. So is there any reason why I can knock out? So in order to know what these, but there's nothing in terms of 2, 4 or 8 could be any of those, couldn't it? Oh, but look here, we've got a 2 and an 8 in this row. So the only one out of those 3 that we don't already know for that row is a 4. So for that reason we can put a 4 down there. At the moment 2 and 8 could be either way round up there. And looking here, there's 8 blocking that out. One of those 2 is going to be an 8. When I know one, I'll know the other. Right, and that's it. We've gone over 20 minutes, so I'm going to stop there. Have a really good couple of days, folks. I'll see you again on Thursday, or you'll see me on Thursday. And if you can make sure that you have had a go at that last question, that would be brilliant.